pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let the roll call show that Director Gentilini is absent. Director Young isn't here yet, but I believe he may come late. But at this time, he hasn't arrived. Principal student representative information. You're all alone.
I'm alone tonight, that's right. My counterparts are both at an event in the city, so I'll just report on the Franklin. Last Thursday we had our spring pictures. That's our last picture taking time for the students there. We started MCA testing for reading this week. They hit it off this morning right away at 8:30 with a little MCA pep rally. And the students were pretty excited about that, so hopefully that will go well for us. This coming Sunday, our PTA, the 19th, is putting on the Gold Fever Bingo, and that's at the curling club up in Evelyn. So that starts at 2 o'clock on Sunday if anybody's interested in joining us for that. That's our PTA putting it on, and they do lots for our Franklin students, lots of fundraising for them. Next Thursday, April 23rd, we will have our kindergarten roundup. That's from 5:30 to 6:30. We sent out flyers. We put a couple ads in the newspaper. So that's something that you choose to attend. Please feel free to join us from 5:30 to 6:30 at kindergarten roundup. We're starting in the Franklin activity room for that. And last but not least, I think for this week, or this meeting at least, is our kindergartners are taking a field trip to the Grand Rapids Children's Museum on Friday the 24th. So they'll be there all day for their yearly field trip.
Nice. Thank you.
Yep.
5.0 Achievement Recognition. Kyle Thorson was named Section 7A Athletic Director of the Year. It's a pretty nice accomplishment there. 6.0 Visitor Input. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to address the board that is not on the agenda? Seeing no one, we'll go on to 8.0. Approve the agenda.
7.0.
Oh, I'm sorry, 7.0. Agenda changes and deletions.
I'm going to add 10.4 under personnel. Beth Bittman, you can see it in front of you there, Beth Bittman, 4th grade teacher, is requesting unpaid leave of absence for the remainder of the school year.
And that's it?
That's it.
That was easy. All right, now we'll try 8.0, approve the agenda.
So moved.
I'll second.
Moved by Shanlob, supported by Forty. Any discussion on it? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 9.0 consent agenda. Approving the minutes of the regular meeting of Monday, March 23. Approving the treasurer's report for the month of March and the first check writing in April. And approving extracurricular appointments of Mike Arrow as volunteer boys tennis coach and Jeff Terrell, volunteer junior high baseball coach.
I'll move.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Moved by Peterson, supported by Chad. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. 10.0 personnel. 10.1 accept the retirement notice of Deanna Kersey.
Deanna's, there's been a Kersey in that gymnasium over in Gilbert for 75 years, I believe it is.
I was going to ask how long.
She's had 32 of them herself. So.
She doesn't want to go to tie the dad?
Nope, not looking to tie dad.
Well, I'll move we accept the resignation with regret.
I'll second it with regret.
Moved by 40, supported by Shanlob. Any discussion?
Wish her the very best.
Absolutely. She'll be missed. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 10.2, accept the resignation letter from Jeff Isaacson. And the administration recommends the board accept the resignation of Jeff from his position as science teacher. I'll move.
I'll support.
Motion by Putzel, support by Shanlop. Any discussion?
We will post for that position, I take it?
Yep,
Okay.
Was it a full-time position?
yes.
Is this one of those that's on the list that our principals are looking for today?
Yep.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 10.3, resolutions 574 through 591 relating to the termination and non-renewal of the teaching contracts of probationary teachers.
This covers the majority of our probationary teachers, and not necessarily because we're going to start next year with 18 less teachers. However, due to the current state of uncertainty with what we're going to be getting from the state, many of these are simply precautionary for now. We will undoubtedly hire them back within a few months here. As far as there's 8 Title I teachers on the list as well, and that's just something that we do every year because we need to know what our Title I grant will be prior to us making any kind of commitment to how many of them we'll be bringing back. So.
And because these are resolutions, they do require a roll call vote for all of them.
Yep.
Kathy, can I read the general headline once and just the individual names? Is that?
Yes.
All right. Each of these resolutions reads, resolution relating to the termination and non-renewal of the teaching contract of, and then the individual teacher, a probationary teacher. And again, that's the heading for each of these, and we'll just go through the names. The first is for Amanda Brunfelt. Director Chad?
Aye.
Oh,
Need a
Oh,
motion?
I'm sorry.
you need a motion and a
I'm-
support for
yes,
each of them.
I'm sorry. Is there a motion?
Yes, I'll move.
I'm sorry, thank you.
I
Peterson.
will second.
Peterson and 40. My apologies. Got ahead of myself there. All right, Director Chad,
Aye.
Shanlov,
Aye.
40.
Aye.
Again, Gentilini is not here. Peterson,
Aye.
myself, I, and Young has not arrived yet if he's coming.
I will move Resolution 575, naming Susan Chaffee as the teaching contract, holder of the teaching contract.
Support.
40 and Shanlov. Okay, roll call vote. Chad,
Aye.
Shanlov,
Aye.
40,
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
and myself, aye. Motion carries. Resolution 576.
Support.
Need a motion first.
Make the motion first.
I'm making a motion.
Oh, okay.
And I'll support Leah.
Oh, excuse me. All right. Okay. Where am I?
I'm
Shanlov
supporting
and-
what you're doing, Leah.
Yeah,
How's that?
okay. Thanks a lot.
The excuse is it's Monday,
Yes.
I believe. All right, that's Shanlov and Peterson. And the name on this one, Jane Sackerson Chilcote. Director Chad,
Aye.
Shanlov,
Aye.
40,
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
and myself, aye. Resolution 577, Rita Forsman. Is there a motion?
I'll move.
I'll support.
Peterson and Shanlov. Director Chad,
Aye.
Shanlov,
Aye.
40,
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
and myself, aye. Motion carries.
I'll move Resolution 578 for Amanda Wilson as a
Okay.
probationary teacher.
Adam.
Adam Wilson, I'm sorry.
All right, 40. Is there support?
Support.
Roll call, Chad,
Aye.
Shanlop,
Aye.
40,
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
and myself, aye.
I'll make a motion on Resolution 579 for Claudia Zaponsic.
I'll second.
Shanlop and Chad. Roll call, Director Chad,
Aye.
Shanlop,
Aye.
40,
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
myself, aye. Motion carries. $580 for Joseph Griegel, I'll move.
Support.
Putzel and Peterson. Roll call, Director Chad,
Aye.
Shanlop,
Aye.
40,
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
and myself, aye. Resolution 581 for Kaylee Hennon.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Shanlop and 40. Roll call, Chad,
Aye.
Shanlop,
Aye.
40,
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
and myself, aye. Resolution 582, Nancy Judnick.
I'll move.
Chad, is there support?
Support.
Chad and Shanlop. Roll call, Chad,
Aye.
Shanlop,
Aye.
40,
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
and myself, aye. Resolution 583 for Brandy Lotiger.
I'll move.
Support.
40 and Chad, thank you. Roll call, Director Chad,
Aye.
Shanlop,
Aye.
40,
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
and myself, aye. Resolution 584 for Rhonda McConnell.
I'll move. Support.
Who was the support? Chad.
Chad is.
Peterson and Chad, thank you. Director Chad. Roll
Aye.
call. Shanlop,
Aye.
40,
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
and myself, aye. Resolution 585 for Crystal Nusich Dusler.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Shanlop and 40, thank you. Roll call, Director Chad,
Aye.
Shanlop,
Aye.
40,
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
and myself, aye. Resolution 586 for Mary Jo Primozic.
I'll move.
Support.
Peterson and Shanlop. Roll call, Director Chad,
Aye.
Shanlop,
Aye.
40,
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
and myself, aye. Resolution 587 for Ellen Williams.
I'll make the motion.
All right, I'll support. Shanlop and Putzel. Roll call, Director Chad,
Aye.
Shanlop,
Aye.
40,
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
and myself, aye. Resolution 588 for Michelle Schreiber.
I'll move Resolution 588.
I'll support.
40 and Shanlop, thank you. Roll call, Director Chad,
Aye.
Shanlop,
Aye.
40,
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
and myself, aye. Resolution 589 for Sheila Takanen.
I'll move. I'll support.
Chad and Peterson. Roll call, Director Chad,
Aye.
Shanlop,
Aye.
40,
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
and myself, aye. Resolution 590 for Taylor Trapp.
I'll move. Support.
Peterson and Chad. Roll call, Director Chad,
Aye.
Shanlop,
Aye.
40,
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
and myself, aye. And Resolution 591 for Mary Wiles.
So moved.
Support.
Shanlop and Peterson, thank you. Roll call, Director Chad,
Aye.
Shanlov.
Aye.
Forty.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
And myself, aye. The 11.0. Kathy, is there anything else you need off of any of those? No. Okay.
We had an addition at 10.4.
Yep. And 10.4, we have a request from Beth Bittman for an unpaid leave of absence for the remainder of the 14-15 school year.
So moved.
I'll support.
Any discussion?
I take it there'll be a substitute teacher then?
There has been, from what I understand.
Oh, okay.
All right, all those in favor of granting the the unpaid leave of absence? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Myself. All right, 11.0, new business. 11.1, approve the school meal price increase.
I'm recommending that we approve the 5-cent increase to all meal prices. You can see in your enclosure, if we keep things the way they are, we'd be running about a $754 deficit next year. With a 5-cent increase, we'd be above the red, in the black, about $1,800. This recommendation is coming from our food service provider, INAC, which all those figures come from as well. So if you have questions on that, I can certainly direct that.
How does it, I mean, can I ask a question? How does it really work? I mean, is this our budget or is this their budget? Or is this an agreed collaborative effort? Because we contract it? Is this what we pay them?
We contract with them and then they run their own budget because they have their own employees.
So we fund it and then they work from that funding mechanism? Okay. I was just curious. That's all.
We need a motion to approve the increase or not?
I'll move we increase all meal prices by 5 cents for the next school year.
I'll support.
Motion by Forty, supported by Peterson. Any additional discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 12.2, another resolution. Approve Resolution 573, transferring pre-K transition funds to the unassigned general fund.
I'm going to defer to Candace on that one.
So I was contacted last week or the week before by the Department of Ed. And previously, they have given us this pre-K transition funds, and we've had to have a set-aside fund balance for that if we have not spent it in the past. We are one of 3 districts that have money still sitting in there, and they want to get rid of some of the codes for that. So they'd like us to move it to just our unassigned, because now going forward, they have just included it in our general fund dollars. So they would like us to just move it to our unassigned fund balance so that they can get rid of those codes.
Okay.
It's just an old funding mechanism that's obsolete, basically.
Yep.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to transfer that pre-K funds.
I'll support.
Motion by Shanlov, supported by Chad. And again, this is a resolution authorizing Independent School District 2154 to transfer transition for pre-K funds to the unassigned general fund, and this requires a roll call vote. Director Chad?
Aye.
Director Shanlov?
Aye.
Director Forty?
Aye.
Director Peterson?
Aye.
And myself, aye. Motion carries. 11.3, approve concurrent enrollment agreement with Lake Superior College.
Of course, you know, we've approved others. We have a class or 2 through Mesabi and a class or 2 through Vermilion. Lake Superior has most of our science courses. So, for instance, our human anatomy and whatnot that are CEP. So I believe it's 2 courses in all, the chemistry and the human biology.
I'll move that we approve the concurrent enrollment agreement with Lake Superior College.
I'll second.
Motion by Putzel, support by Forty. Is there any further discussion on this? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 11.4, approve the honors online agreement with Lake Superior College.
We do have a few students who take some honors courses online, and it's a mechanism for us to keep them here for the rest of the day, so that you can see the cost per credit, $201.38. It's very few students. It's typically only 3 or 4 a year.
How does that work? Do they do that in the school here? Or just online?
They can, yeah.
Or more of an independent study thing? But cool. I'll move.
Support.
Motion by Peterson, support by Shanlob. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 11.5, approve 3-year audit proposal from Walker, Giroux, and Hani.
I had mentioned earlier this year that Candace and I were doing a little research on it, and we felt that our audit costs were rather high, and we did lots of negotiating with this firm, and we are comfortable with them. They do good work. They did lower their price by, I believe it was $7,000 next year, so we feel comfortable with where we're at.
What did we pay for the 2014 audit?
$30,000.
So this is down from that.
Yeah.
What does the 3,000 mean? Like if
The single audit.
if we didn't elect to do it, or if we asked them to come in additionally?
The single audit right now stands as, it deals with our federal funding. So if we receive over $500,000 in federal funding, so that includes our title funds and our food service and all of our special ed, federal. If we're over that $500,000, we have to pay for a single audit. After the 14-15 school year, so for the 15-16, it moves up to $750,000, and we probably will not end up having to have a single audit after this school year. So they just included the $3,000 as in case we do end up getting more federal dollars.
So that's basically additional paperwork for the federal level versus the state? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make a motion for the proposal.
I'll second.
Motion by Shanlob, supported by Forty, to approve the audit proposal. Any additional discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 11.6, approve contract for Director of Maintenance, Grounds, and Transportation.
Of course, it says in there, but just as a note, this will just carry us through June 30th of this year. It's real short term. It's essentially the terms that we have previously had with the foreman, finishing out the year.
I'll move we approve the contract for the Director of Maintenance, Grounds, and Transportation, which will last through June 30th of 2015.
And I'll support that.
Motion by Forty, support by Shanlob. Any additional discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 11.7, approve RFP for facilities study.
I guess I would just ask, I mean, you've seen it now. Any questions that anyone has?
It's just wide open and vague, isn't it? Oh, that's cool.
Which I think it has to be. I'll make a motion that we approve the RFP.
I will second.
Motion by Putzel, support by Forty. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
We'll go out tomorrow.
Very good.
How long was it?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
11.8, set a closed session to discuss negotiation strategies. We'll conclude our business here and go into session and then come back and adjourn. 12.0, committee reports.
We need a motion on that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll move
Yes.
that we have a closed negotiation strategy session following our regular business at this meeting.
Support.
Motion by Forty, support by Peterson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Committee reports. 12.1, budget and finance report. That was going to be presented by
Mr. Young.
Director Young, and he isn't here. He did leave some notes with me. I guess for the Evelyn Gilbert revised 14-15 budget, the things that he asked me to point out, and these numbers will exclude transportation, I'll list those separately, but it shows revenues of $10,080,940, expenditures of $10,455,867, with a deficit of $374,927. Transportation showed revenues of $600,516, expenditures of $771,740 for a deficit of $171,224 for a total deficit of $577,862. And I think the discussion was pretty clear that we need to do something to fix that. And we will have to just simply continue to look at those areas that we've determined are the most out of balance, which were the administrative costs and the building costs. The RFP will take us into I think, a good place to make some decisions on the buildings. And as far as the administration imbalance, we'll just have to simply continue to work toward finding a solution for that.
Can I add something?
Absolutely.
One thing that was brought up, and I think we might as well just mention it because it might start being a topic, the Schedule C stuff was a conversation to look at, and some people might not like if things turn out against them, but it's a real thing that we have to look at and see if it's a justifiable thing, and that's the coaches and athletics. And I spoke to my sister this weekend about some teams that my nephew's in, and she said they can't get some kids to come out to teams, and it's kind of not even worth it sometimes. But and that's the reality we face as a district too, is if it's worthwhile or not. So just notable mention.
Is there anything anyone else wants to add to that report? Again, Keith was going to give it. I'm
Right.
just
Right.
winging it here with the notations that
That
he
was
had given me.
basically what we discussed, was the admin, but buildings and extracurricular.
And I think that obviously the deficit is the item that concerns us. It's not how things are being managed. We're to a point where we need to make some tough decisions.
There's been some information in the papers that the funding coming out of the state this year might not be 3%. What was built into our budget?
It might not be 1%. I mean, we had,
Well, I thought they were talking about, or at least Governor Dayton was talking about 3%.
Yeah.
But
we had, when we started this process, we were looking at a 1-1 for the biennium. And that's not looking real promising at this moment.
if it's 0-0, what does that mean dollar-wise for us
Another 173, somewhere in that range.
each year?
Yeah.
Ouch.
And I think one of the things that was talked about at the committee meeting was head count on our participation in athletics.
I have it.
Do you
here.
have anything for it? Oh, you're in your
I'm going
report?
to pass it out.
Okay. Then I'll wait.
Good reminder, though.
Yeah.
I forgot that was a piece of it,
Yeah.
yes. And 12.2 Policy Committee. Who's giving that report?
That was you.
Was it? No, it wasn't.
What's that? I
Well,
brought them, they're two things, if you're.
I'll-
Yeah,
I'll throw it and we'll pick on someone else the next time, but we talked about two policies. One was policy 565, that basically it's a relationship policy between the school and athletic boosters, or booster clubs, not necessarily athletic boosters. Just, it allows us to form some guidelines to have some type of control over what's happening with that. And the other one was 905, I believe. Is it 905?
905, yep.
And that would be an advertising policy that allows the district control over who and what advertises within the district. There were just things that were discussed. And
Just a question on that boosters
Yep.
policy. And looking for more information. Do you have any idea how you're going to go about finding out how many booster clubs or organizations we have active in the school district?
it is going to be a daunting task.
Just gonna have an open enrollment period where everybody can just sign up.
Well, I would think one place to start is with our coaches,
Well,
the head coaches in each of the
Yeah.
athletic activities. What do they have as boosters? And then we know the drama club has or at least that one fundraiser that they had, and I don't know what else, but I would think our staff that is involved with each of these extracurricular activities would be a place to start.
Agreed.
Okay.
And I have noticed and in discussion that unfortunately, sometimes even the coaches haven't been made aware that there are clubs acting on behalf of that given sport, so, and I think that'll be fixed if we go forward with the policies,
Oh, yeah, which we want to do.
so,
And I think it'd be a good exercise for those coaches that aren't aware of
yeah,
what's happening with their boosters.
yeah, absolutely.
Is a function of all these clubs primarily supposed to be fundraising for the team or athletic or group or the activity? I mean, because even if we don't know about them, eventually somebody might say, here, I'm going to donate some jerseys, and it's like, well, now we recognize you as a booster club, and I mean, is that, or are there some that just don't interact, and or is that yet to be determined on how?
We're all over the board right now.
Okay.
I don't know if I have a good, solid answer for that.
We'll figure it out, right?
Did anyone want to add anything regarding either of those reports?
No, other than budget and finance as a whole was not necessarily good information. With the projected balance deficit of over $500,000, there's work we need to do.
I certainly think that RFP is a wonderful place to start.
Yes.
It's going to give us information that we don't currently have in one place and help us develop a direction to go to start recouping some of those losses.
Right,
So,
but we can start looking at athletics and administration
absolutely,
without
Yeah.
waiting.
right.
Okay.
13.0 Superintendent's Report.
I got a few things. One, I just want to give you an update on the strategic planning. We are meeting on Monday the 20th after school with the building leadership teams to work on the action plan. And we'll have one more after that then, shortly after, so we should be ready to reconvene the whole committee probably within a week or two, probably 2 weeks, to hammer the final out on that. I did want to mention, I've talked to you about early childhood changes, moving to for our school readiness in particular, moving to a 5-day program versus the 4-day we currently offer. I've been talking with area school districts as to how they're handling it, and everybody's doing it a little bit differently, whether it be fees, increased fees, or whatnot. It's going to present a number of challenges for us, though, if we move forward in that direction in both finances and space. So I hope by the end of this week I will have a recommendation for you to ponder for the next meeting, together with numbers. I guess I'm really hoping, it is my intention at this point to move forward to that 5-day program, because we need to. Good for kids, and it's good for the district as a whole. So I'm hoping to find a solution for how to work that out. Registrations people are getting antsy for information right now, so they want to know, and we're going to need to get them an answer pretty soon. So I'll get that stuff to you pretty quick. The other thing I wanted to talk about was, I have a couple things for you here. We'll just pass around. One of them is extracurricular numbers, and the other one is just enrollment numbers for students. I guess I pass these out now so it's something that you can digest over the next however much time. I guess in the coming weeks along with this, I'm going to start putting numbers to some of this stuff and getting recommendations from our coaches and athletic director and anyone else involved, principals, as to what are acceptable coach-athlete ratios, what are acceptable numbers for programs in general, and see what we can do there.
I see one thing that I see is missing from the participation numbers are any participants younger than 7th grade?
Yes.
But they're not on here.
I guess I guess, and this is just me, I have them in my office if you want them, the pre-7th grade ones, but when I look at high school programs, I look at 7th through 12 as being participant numbers.
Well, I agree, but there are programs that
Most of them do.
have 6th grade or maybe even younger in some cases. I would like to see those numbers.
All right.
Maybe separately from the 7 through 12 numbers, but how many are 6th grade or younger that are also involved in these activities?
And which of these programs are cooperatives with other districts?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to start right at the top there. You have girls hockey is the first one on the list. Nordic skiing, alpine skiing, girls soccer, wrestling, actually tennis, both tennises we combined with Wasabi East too, boys and girls. I missed that one. And of course skiing in the boys and the boys soccer.
And these participation numbers are only from our district,
These
wherever
are
there's a
ours.
co-op.
Right.
So with a cooperative, we only pay a percentage of that fee?
Depends who hosts it.
Oh,
Like for instance, I'll just give wrestling as an example. We have one student that you can see wrestling.
right.
Virginia is the host. We pay a participation fee for that. Correct? Yeah. So we
it's-
don't have any associated the coaching costs and stuff like that.
Right, well, I guess that's what I was getting at, right?
Yeah.
Do we provide any transportation
For-
for these where there's so few children?
Depends on the sport. We did agree to pay for skiing transportation last winter. However, I believe that is the only one that I'm aware of. We do have a bus that goes over to Wasabi East anyway, and they carry soccer players on there.
Do they
But
bring them back?
It's not, no, it's
Oh.
not intended, it's not intended as special transportation for athletics.
So that's just part of our bus route, and those athletics go on there?
We realize no matter what you would have given us, we would have asked for something else. So, I mean, it's just
Sure.
the nature of it.
Anyway, the other sheet I gave you is our enrollments through April 1st, and you can see that the last 2 months have been somewhat alarming.
Well, do you know what our year end was last year?
1,054.
And what about September of 13, the beginning of the previous school year?
I don't have that off the top of my head, but I can get that. And then the last thing I would like to do is I need to set a date for a Buildings and Grounds meeting. A couple things on that just come to mind. We're in some talks with both the city and the fire marshal regarding the shutting down the manual arts building for us getting the water out of there and turning the heat off as soon as we can. I got the city is aware and is willing to come shut the water off. Obviously, they have to. However, we got to get the okay from the fire marshal to drain the sprinkler system first. Just got a little moving to do first, and we'll get that done.
So we think we can do that? That's cool.
Another thing is the bus garage expansion. I have somebody coming to look at that, just to put some more space on there for the time being. We have to talk about finalize our summer projects that we're going to work on. Should about do it. So anyway, take a look at the calendar here. Let's see, it's the 13th now. I'm probably looking at, how's the 23rd look for people at 5 o'clock?
It's fine with me.
What day of the week?
That's a Thursday.
Thursday, the 23rd.
Thursday's bad?
Pardon?
Thursday's bad? Would you rather do Wednesday that week? I can do Wednesday. It is Earth Day.
Wednesday would be better for me.
Wednesday the 22nd.
22nd? Okay.
Earth Day.
Okay.
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
That's all I got.
Thank you. Board member topics. Director Peterson?
You good this week?
Chad?
Good.
Trumbull?
I'm good.
Mr. Forty?
I'll pass.
Thank you. As will I. So we can go into closed session. And when we come back, we'll adjourn.